Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So for today we're going to be talking about how I found my apartment here on the Upper West Side as an international student. So a little context about me. I am an incoming graduate student, specifically a master's student at Columbia University here in New York, and I'm going to be starting in the fall, and I found my apartment here on the Upper West Side, which is about 8 minutes walking to the Columbia campus, basically. So a little bit about the process of how I kind of found my apartment. It's a studio apartment. I actually didn't really want roommates, so I was really only looking at studios. And I pay $24.50 for this apartment, and basically, like I said earlier, it is walking distance to Columbia, and I am currently on Riverside Drive, and I personally love this location because I feel like it's super peaceful. All my neighbors are so nice. It's a very family oriented area, and I feel like, you know, being a student, especially graduate student, I like to have my own space, and I like to be in an area or location that is family oriented and feels really safe and feels like a little neighborhood. So that's why I was really happy when I found this this whole area, aka Riverside Drive, because I wanted that vibe, especially, you know, for living. But as far as the process of actually finding this apartment, so I had a bunch of friends who were here in New York City, and everyone was like, okay, you just need to get on streeteasy.com, and all the listings for all the apartments in New York City that are going on lease or that are being rented out will show up on this website. So I just got on StreetEasy, and I was like, wow, this really is easy. It's on brand for their name. What you need to do is you just need to kind of filter for what you're looking for. So for example, what I was looking for location to be on the Upper West Side, walking distance to Columbia campus. I was looking for a rental unit, studio specifically, and that's another one, studio. And I was looking for a studio with a doorman in the building and laundry in the building. So I filtered for all of these things on StreetEasy. Honestly, this was kind of a while back, so I can't really remember specifically if all those filters were there, but I filtered in for most of them, or as much as possible, all of those things. All the apartments that met those requirements pop up, and then essentially you can just view it. A bunch of photos will be on the website. You can view through those photos. If you like the place, you can essentially just book an appointment or book a showing directly from the website. So what I did is I literally just sat down for 2 hours, and I just booked I don't even know, I sent 40, 50 requests for apartment showings. And then once I sent all those requests from the website itself, then I just needed to put my email and my phone number on those requests for showings. And then the agents or the people who were representing that apartment just emailed me, and they would email me with times to kind of book an appointment for a showing. And I literally booked I don't even know, 7, 8 showings in 2 days. Monday, Tuesday, I had back-to-back showings, and I saw 8 apartments or something. And basically the struggle that I faced was that most of the places that I saw, 7 out of 8 of them did not have doorman, and they didn't have laundry in the building. So essentially, you know, for safety purposes, I was I need a doorman, because I want to be in a building that has that, you know, that provides that. And as far as laundry in the winter, I was talking to my uncle, and he lives here in New York City, and he was in the winter, if you don't have laundry in the building, it's a big disadvantage, because you're gonna be walking with your laundry bag in the freezing cold. You're gonna have to Uber home or something if it's too cold, because you're not going to be able to carry your laundry and stuff, you know, in a massive laundry bag. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. You know, growing up in the Philippines, we just have one season, which is hot. So I didn't even think about the winter aspect of the whole laundromat kind of thing. So I was like, okay, laundry in the basement is a must. And there was literally only one apartment from all of the 7, 8 showings that I went to. Only one of them had laundry in the basement and a doormat. So I was immediately when I saw this place, the building that I have now, it has laundry and the doorman, I immediately put in an offer, because I was honestly, I need those two things, and most places that were in my budget, which is 2,500, did not have laundry, did not have a doorman. So I was like, I need to put in an offer now because I need to get this place. Like, there are literally no other places that are walking distance to Columbia and meets all of my requirements, you know? So I put in an offer for the place on Riverside Drive that had, you know, laundry, doorman, everything, location, everything, and I got the place, you know? And as far as like the actual process of getting the place, I feel like it was pretty stressful as far as like going back and forth with the agent. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention earlier. Oh my god, I feel like this is a struggle I face with these videos, is that the lack of planning, because I know I'm gonna miss saying something and I feel like I'm gonna jump a lot, so bear with me. But trying to, like, when you are filtering for places or the requirements or things that you're looking for in Street Easy, try to filter in or use the option that says no broker fee, because usually a lot of times a lot of the apartments will charge you an extra 1 month, 1 month's rent for a broker fee. So it's going to be an additional kind of cost or payment that will also be out of your pocket. So trying to find a place with no broker fee is also a big thing, or really important if you're trying to like maximize on your budget. For my place, I unfortunately had to pay a broker fee for this place because it was just too good to, you know, let go of it. And the other place did not have a broker fee, but the other place that was like my second option place, but it didn't have a doorman, didn't have laundry. So I was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna suck it up and pay the broker fee because I really want this place. So I feel like if the place is really, really good, I would highly suggest just taking it and, you know, paying the broker fee, because at the end of the day, safety is so important, and like having the laundry, if that's like a priority for you, I would definitely just pay the broker fee, you know? But as far as requirements, so once I saw this place and I was like, I want it, I want to take it, I basically had to just kind of email the agent and I was like, I want to put in an offer. And then the agent kind of sent me like a little application form that I had to fill out. So the application form is essentially like all your details. You're gonna have to put in your name, all of your information, and then you have to I had to kind of submit my admission letter as well from Columbia. And then I also had to I needed a guarantor as well. I think they need this for like international students, that you usually need to have like a guarantor for the apartment or someone to co-sign the apartment with you. And they have to be a US citizen. They have to be making at least, I want to say 150K a year. If it's not 150K, it's 200K. I will put the like official number in the description below. I can't remember what the number was, but it was a pretty like high figure. They have to be making 6 figures, so they have to be like a US citizen, be making 6 figures, and they need to be you know, like they just need to have like a good credit score from what I understand. So basically, like having a US relative or a really good family friend or someone that can be your guarantor is super, super important, and having access to them, because the thing is, like, I ended up using one of my family relatives as my guarantor, but like, you know, there's a lot of back and forth for information that you're gonna need from them. You're gonna need a lot of documents, like official documents from them, like their income statements, their like a copy of their ID, a copy of their tax returns. Like there's so many like documents that you're gonna need that I had to get from my guarantor. So having those documents and having good communication with your guarantor is like a must. I would say I was really lucky because I had a relative. However, my agent did say that, oh, if you're not able to have a relative, you can go through like a third-party guarantor, and I'll put the websites below, the links to the websites for third-party guarantor, but essentially you need to pay a fee for that. And basically, if you don't have a US guarantor, you would just need to get a third-party guarantor, pay the fee, and then you're good on the guarantor front. I think the whole purpose of having a guarantor is like, because like usually the owner of the apartment kind of wants to know that they can trust me, that, you know, because I'm international at the end of the day, like my guarantor is guaranteeing me, or is the second person of contact. If they're not able to reach me, they can reach the guarantor. So I think having a person, I think that's the whole kind of purpose behind it, having a guarantor for the apartment. And having those documents ready to go is super important. As far as signing the place and all the documents, so essentially I had the application form, I needed to submit my admission letter to Columbia, and then I needed to submit all of my guarantor's documents, which is kind of their tax return, their copy of their ID, copy of their credit score, all of those kind of things. Like I had to submit all of those things, you know, when I was kind of putting in the application. And then basically I sent all those things to the agent. Usually the agent will, you know, the agents are really responsive. Like they'll literally be like very fast at replying. So I was like emailing back and forth for like a whole week with the agent. But I think the biggest thing is moving fast. You know, if you like a place, put in an offer, you know, like that was what I learned, and all of the people that I had spoken to who live in New York who had gone through this process said that as well. They were like, if you like a place, put in an offer ASAP, because places go off the market so quickly, you know? So I was like, okay, I need to make a decision now, you know? And I'm very happy that I made the decision that I did, because if you find a place with a doorman and laundry, grab it, because it's hard. Not all buildings here in New York City, especially in the Upper West Side, have that, you know? And I knew for a fact that I didn't want roommates, because, you know, I wanted my own space and I wanted to just come home and have this like space for myself, essentially. And so I really like was very fast in my decision of like putting in an offer. So after I submitted all the documents to the agent, like I think they usually consult with the owner of the unit, and then once the owner kind of approves all the documents, they're good with the conditions, the terms, they're good with everything, they agree to everything, that's when they come back to me and they're like, okay, the owner has accepted the offer, we can get started on like kind of the paperwork. So essentially they sent me like a DocuSign with all of the information. It had like the monthly kind of the monthly rent, it had my guarantor's information, had my information, and also along with submitting the DocuSign, I also had to make a down payment of 3 months rent, broker's fee, and also the security deposit. So I had to essentially do like 5 months of like rent up front. So that came out to be like it almost was like, I think it was almost coming out to be like 12K or something, like US dollars. So it was a lot, of course, but I feel like they need these things, especially for like international students, because, you know, I feel like at the end of the day, I understand their perspective, which is they just want security for themselves, that we're not gonna like up and leave or whatever, you know, like that we're gonna pay our rent and that we have the financial financial stability to be able to meet monthly rent, you know? So, oh, and that reminds me, I also had to submit a copy of a bank statement. Basically, if you're an international student, you know, usually your parents or whoever is funding you will need to submit a bank statement showing that they can, you know, support the costs of the rent for the apartment. So essentially when I applied to Columbia, I had to kind of give them a bank statement as well, showing that we can kind of pay the admission fee, we can pay all the fees for tuition, etc., like proof of a bank statement. So I literally just sent them that same exact bank statement that I sent to Columbia, to kind of, you know, have proof of like financial capabilities for this apartment, basically. But aside from that, after I signed the DocuSign, my guarantor had to sign the DocuSign. That was pretty much it, and I had a move-in date and I started moving in, and that was pretty much the whole process, honestly. As long as, I think for me, I really was very like committed to finding an apartment within 2 weeks, and so I dedicated a lot of time. I booked a lot of showings, I saw a lot of places and I was really like, you know, talking a lot back and forth with my agent, asking a lot of questions, and I asked them a lot of questions. The good thing with my agent is that he was really responsive and he was answering all my questions, because like, fair enough, you know, like they don't get paid until I fully sign the apartment, so that's why they're gonna be responsive to you. Most agents usually are. So maybe my advice would be, do not be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask as many questions and clarifying questions. My agent even hopped on calls with me to answer my questions. So that was really, really easy as far as like communication. Agents are usually good with that. But trying to negotiate more with the agents, or even trying to get your parents to negotiate with them, I would say like that is something I would do more of. And the second thing is trying to look for places on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I would do that next time because I know that those places tend to be cheaper. But as far as like, as of now, I think that those are like kind of my tips and advice for finding places. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions regarding finding a place on the Upper West Side, especially as an international student at Columbia. I would love to hear from you guys and answer your questions as much as I can. And once again, I am not a pro. Like, this is like the first time I ever found an apartment, and this is just the process that I used, just as a disclaimer. But yeah, a lot of friends and family were like, girl, you should find a place in Brooklyn and Queens. And I was like, the commute to Brooklyn and to Queens to the Upper West Side is just, it's insane. You know, if there are people out there who do it, I admire you. Like, I wish I could do that. But like, I feel like right now I really wanted to be near the campus, like really just walking distance. Like, let me know if you guys have any other questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.